Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself and my partners. My name is Ria Bariah. My partner are Shinta Rosita, Nur Latifah, and Dea Meliana. We are from group 7. In this opportunity, we will discuss about function and style. First, I will explain about capital letters. In modern English, difficult to give precise rule about the use of capital letters because there is a trend to use them less. However, they should always be used in the following cases. The first word in the sentence, days and months, nationality words, names of person or people, book title, that's only main word, academic subject, and names of organizations. Next is apostrophes, mainly used in two situations. First, to show contraction, for example, she's beautiful. Second, possessive, for instance, the professor's secretary, student marks, and women's rights.
My name is Shinta and I would like to explain about semicolon and colon. Semicolon is used to join equivalent clauses or divided items in a list where the items contain commas. Colon is used to introduce lists or element after punctuation to expand or explain. We can use semicolon between two independent clauses that are not joined by a coordinating conjunction such as and, but, so, or, nor, and yet. But if the clauses contains commas that might cause confusion, we can use semicolon between two independent clauses with coordinating conjunction. And the second, we can use semicolon between two independent clauses that are joined by conjunctive adverbs such as therefore, however, nevertheless, and so on. And the last, we can use semicolon in a series which the items contains commas. Next, the use of colon. We can use colon to give a list or mention items in a sentence. We can use colons to give a block of quotation in a paragraph. We can use colon as an appositive, like we rename the nouns and pronouns. We can use colon to give a clause to explain the sentence. And we can also use colon to following elements like salutation from a business letter, a biblical citation by chapter and verse, time notation like in hour and the minutes, a proportion, and a script of a play or film like the colon separate the name of the character and the lines that the dialogue have to spoken.
My name is Nur Latifah. The use of the comma. First, use a comma to separate the independent clause. A comma should come before a coordinating conjunction such as for, and, nor, but, yet, or so when it joins to complete idea or independent clause. Example, he walked down the street, comma, and then he turned the corner. Next is use a comma between all items in a series. Example, we bought apples, comma, peach, comma, and banana today. There are 3 comma. Next is use comma to set off a positive. A positive is a noun or pronoun that renames a previous noun. Example, our governor, comma, Ridwan Kamil, comma, is making an important speech at my campus. Next is use a comma after an introductory clause or phrase. Example, when Reza was ready to iron, comma, his cat tripped on the cord. Next is comma with adjective clause. Example, I called Miss Dea, comma, who live in Cikarang. Next is comma with adverb clause. Example, when Sri and I go to a movie, comma, I always have to buy the popcorn. Next is comma with transitional terms such as furthermore, however, likewise, or etc. Example, the Hope diamond is the best known diamond, semicolon. However, comma, the Cullinan diamond, comma, before being cut, comma, was larger. Next is use comma to set off direct quotation. Example, Mary said, comma, quotation mark, I dislike concert because the music is too loud. Next is quotation mark. We use quotation mark to show or mark the beginning and the end of a word or phrase that is somehow special or comes from outside the text that we are writing. Quotation mark can be double or single. Next is the use of quotation mark. First, use quotation mark around the title or names of a book, film, or etc. Example, the third most popular book of all time, comma, quotation mark, Harry Potter, has sold over 400 million copies. Next is we use quotation mark around a piece of text that we are quoting or citing from another source. Example, in the Cambridge Encyclopedia of the English Language, comma, David Crystal argued that punctuation, quotation mark, plays a critical role in the modern writing system. Next is use quotation mark around dialogue or direct speech. Example, Ladit said, comma, quotation mark, do you want to play basketball? Next is use quotation mark around a word or phrase that we see as slang or jargon. Example, the police were called to a quotation mark disturbance, which in reality was a pretty big fight. Next is the rule of quotation mark. Full stop and comma always go inside quotation mark. Semicolon and colon go outside quotation mark. Question mark and exclamation point can go outside or inside quotation mark depending on the meaning.
Hello, my name is Dea Meliana. I want to explain about the part of punctuation is full stops. Full stop, these are used to show the end of a sentence. The next punctuation is hyphens. Hyphens are used with certain words, such as compound nouns and certain structure. The next is exclamation mark and question mark. Exclamation mark is used at the end of a sentence or a short phrase which express very strong feeling. And then question mark is used at the end of a sentence or phrase to indicate direct question. Is bracket or parentheses can be used to give additional data without interfering with the flow of the main idea.
Component of academic style. According to that example, in academic style should use precise vocabulary, impersonal style, and formal words. Make it clear with give names and dates. Do not quote proper and similar expression and avoid a lot of etc., so on, contraction, and rhetorical questions. Guidelines. There are no rules for academic style that apply to all situations and academic disciplines. The following guidelines should help you develop a style of your own. A. Do not use idiomatic or colloquial vocabulary, but you can use standard English. B. Use vocabulary accurately. C. Be as precise as possible with dealing with facts or features. D. Conclusion should use tentative language. Avoid absolute statements such as unemployment causes crime, but use caution phrases like unemployment may cause crime. E. Avoid adverbs that show your personal attitude, such as likely, surprisingly. F. Do not contract verb form. G. Although academic English tends to use the passive more than standard English, it should not be overused. H. Avoid the following, like for introduction example, thing or combination, nothing or something, lot of, little or big, and good or bad that are simplistic. I. Do not use question form. G. Avoid numbering section of your text except in report and long essay. K. When writing list, avoid etc. and so on. L. Avoid using two-word verb such as go on. If there is a synonym, use continue.
Avoiding repetition and redundancy. To avoid using the same word in a sentence or repeat the same word in a sentence, we can use the synonyms to make our text more interesting. And we better not to repeat the same idea in our text or put unnecessary points in our text. Varying sentence length. If we use short sentence to the whole of our paragraph, it will make our paragraph monotone. And if we use long sentence to the whole of our paragraph, it will make our paragraph more interesting but difficult to get the point of the ideas. And we better use both of them, long and short sentence, to give an idea and to give supporting idea to make our paragraph more clear as possible.
Next is the use of quotient. Cautious language is used to convey how certain you are of the opinions or arguments that you are using in your writing, especially when writing an argument. To show a quotient, we can use first introductory verbs such as seems, tends, looks like. We can use certain lexical verbs such as believe, assume, suggest. We can use certain modal verbs such as will, could, may, might. We can use adverb of frequency such as often, sometimes, usually. We can use modal adverbs such as certainly, definitely, clearly. We can use modal adjectives such as definite, certain, clear. We can use modal nouns such as assumptions, possibility, probability. We can use that clauses such as there is every hope that. We can use to clause plus adjectives such as it may be possible to obtain.
Using modifier quiet, rather, or fairly. Quiet is often used before the article. It is generally used positively, while rather tends to be used negatively. So that's enough from group 7. Thanks for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.